Esto es toda una telenovela. Come with me on the latest episode of Rebelion de Amor, where our protagonista, Tom Homan, carefully planned an operation in Aurora and Denver to win the affection of his querida. Pero I know, it resulted in very few arrests. He blames it on a news leak, an apparent lie repeated by national news outlets. He changed the story a couple days later, now it's the FBI who betrayed him. Ay, que traición! But in the end, it wasn't the FBI or un periodista denunciante who ruined his very expensive multi-agency G.I. Joe cosplay party. It was someone in shorts carrying a bullhorn.
You do not have to open the door without a warrant signed by a judge.
It turns out, organizers broke his heart, not someone leaking information, although the operation did end up arresting people without criminal records who apparently weren't who ICE was looking for, and at least one apartment where agents went door to door asking people to open up at 5 in the morning. No one opened their door and no one was arrested. Some of the residents had trained for this ahead of time, and at least one organization had distributed Know Your Rights information to that building. Fox helpfully pointed out that the community has been organizing for months, including a city council member who used her social media channels to share information. This was truly incredible, as was so many agents going home empty-handed in Chicago the week before. Every local news clip should have started with, despite a 6-hour siege, and explained that very few parents, restaurant workers, people just striving for a better life, very few of them were torn away from their city thanks to community organizing. A few trainings, a bunch of flyers handed out door to door, and a couple people with bullhorns thwarted all of these ridiculous military vehicles. Some people were still detained over the course of the week, including one person seemingly at random while eating at a restaurant. 2 young girls were separated from their mother after she was arrested, but the community has stepped up to support those who were left behind. This is a story to remember. The administration talked a bunch of shit about Aurora during the campaign trail. This was supposed to be where Venezuelan asylum seekers were revealed to be drug traffickers to the whole world. And it didn't happen. The fact that the whole thing was a big lie helped. But imagine if the community hadn't been organized, if those people hadn't kept their doors shut, if the US citizens had refused to snitch on their neighbors, if the federal agents hadn't been surrounded by loud people, letting the residents know how to stay safe. Look at what happened in another neighborhood that experienced a military-style ICE assault last week. A neighbor shot this footage of ICE approaching the home of someone without a criminal record. But besides filming, the neighbor didn't seem to know what to do. Now Homan says he's asking the Department of Justice to look into whether people like us are illegally impeding the important work of family separation.
If they're shouting and helping these people get away with bullhorns, how is that legal?
You're exactly right. They cross the line of impediment, and that's why I'm working very close starting this morning with the Department of Justice. And where do they cross that line of impediment?
They're going to keep trying to scare us. This story shows that when the administration pumps up its fear-mongering, we always have a choice. We can let their militarization of immigration enforcement scare us, and their threats of having the DOJ investigate us keep us from organizing, and like many reporters did this past week, repeat their claims about Venezuelan gang members and some news leak despite zero evidence. Or we can make sure that elected officials and the media carefully evaluate Trump's claims before repeating them. And we can choose to keep organizing, and fewer people will be permanently banished from their communities by Trump stormtroopers. That's why no one opened their door in an Aurora apartment complex. They defended their rights, and dozens of bystanders helped them. We always have that choice. And as we say at Siembra, ¿le entran?